Yeah, I'm a visco girl now. I wear scrunchies. Just kidding, I've worn scrunchies since I was like 8 in dance. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my January reads. I didn't really watch anything this month that is noteworthy. It's just rewatches, so I'm not really going to go over those unless they pertain to the books, which there are a couple that pertain to the books, but other than that, we're just going to talk about reads this month, and let's just jump right into it. So the first read I started in December and then I finished in January, so I'm counting it because I want to, and that would be Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. Now, I've been doing a reread of Twilight. I just needed to reread them. I had this inkling to do it, and this is what I did. So I reread Breaking Dawn, and this has always been my favorite book in the series. Still to this day, this is my favorite book. I think my books that are like my favorite go Breaking Dawn, Eclipse, Twilight, New Moon. I just like those. Eclipse is great. I just love it. But I really like this one, and there's one sole purpose. It is the Jacob section in this book. I love Jacob. Half of the time I listen to this on audiobook. I use my local library and I listened to that, which was really interesting. I really liked listening to the voice actor who did Jacob. But there's something so fascinating about this book, especially this read through, where I was so invested in listening to the wolf story, and I really liked hearing them for that short amount of time that we get to see them in Breaking Dawn, in the beginning of Jacob's section, but also through Jacob being the new alpha or pack leader of his own. I just really enjoy that. I know people are like weirded out by the whole imprinting thing and the whole like Bella having a baby, but like if you look at Stephenie Meyers, it makes total sense in my mind. She's from Arizona, and she comes from a religious background that is very much like family oriented, and I've had multiple discussions with people about this where she had to give her characters like this perfect family, which I really do see. Like, I see how she would have, as an author, and like her moral and stuff values would want that in these books. So I do see Bella got it all. She got the boy, she got the child, she got the happy ever after. Like, she got it all. I just really enjoyed reading Jacob, and I'd always say I want a Renesmee story. I'm just interested in Renesmee growing up with Edward as her father, because you know that is going to be a shit show. She's not gonna be able to get away with anything. She's not gonna be able to go sneak out and see Jacob. Also, having Jacob as your imprint, like, he's gonna be overprotective and not let you get hurt or do anything, even though you're half vampire and you can do whatever you want, and you will only potentially like 50-50 die. Like 50-50, but like you still have vampire healing, you still have vampire strength. After that little tangent, let's move on to the next book I read. I read was Little Women. I've read this before. I reread it so I could see the movie, which I really enjoyed the movie that just came out. I saw it with a friend, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It was the same classic story that I had always known. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. There's nothing more really to say because it was a childhood story that I'd always loved. The next book that I listened to on audiobook, but it is a reread because I'm going through like my shelf and allowing myself to reread things that I want to reread, and that would be The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The reason I really wanted to reread this one in particular, this series, is because of the new book, the prequel coming out, which before I started this reread, I didn't know it was about President Snow. Now I'm bitter about that. But I won't get into that inkling right now. But I really wanted to reread these books, and I forgot how much I love them. I listened to them on audiobook, the ones I've read, and I just love Katniss. I love Peeta. they did Peeta so wrong in the movie, I feel like. Like, he's good in the movie. Like, Josh Hutcherson did an amazing Peeta, like, but just some of the lines they gave him, like, he's just so much more in the books, and I love him. He's like warm bread, like pita bread. That was cheesy. But same with Gale. They did Gale so wrong. Like, Gale is so much more than what they gave Liam in the movies, and I'm just like, did we only get Katniss right? Okay. But I also, once I finished the book, I reread or rewatched the movie, and let's just say the Rue's scene still gets to me every single time. I still tear up. I still cry about Rue. This is why I don't want a President Snow trilogy, prequel. I don't know what it's going to be. Is there more than one book? I don't know. He doesn't deserve redemption in my eyes. And going off of that, the second book I read, well, in audiobook form, was Catching Fire. Another one of my loves of my life. Actually, probably my main love of my life in this series is Finnick Odair. We love Finnick so much. He is just, we love him. I just love his sass. I love his just swagger. I don't know how to describe him. He's just so sweet and so fierce with his net cloth in the parade. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I really do. I loved this book, and I think this book in particular translated well in the movie form. They did it so well. There are moments that aren't obviously in the movie that are in the book, but I think they translated it so well. And every time I read Finnick, I just think of that actor. I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Me Before You, and we love him. Hashtag Finnick Odair. Finnick for the winner of the Hunger Games. Sorry, Katniss. I would have been okay with Finnick killing you. Is that bad to say? Sorry. Both of these books were 5 out of 5 stars in the audiobook form. I am currently listening to Mockingjay, so I'll let you know how that is, because that is actually my favorite book of the series. I think when I remember reading them, it was Mockingjay, Catching Fire, then The Hunger Games. I always end up liking the books that no one likes in the series. Mockingjay, Breaking Dawn, there's probably more, but I'm just weird and I have to like what no one else likes. Not in like a I'm so quirky way, but just because that's what I liked. Who knows what's wrong with me? I don't. Last book that I just recently finished was The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. Now, okay, I'm going to tell you that I was really excited for this book. One of my really good friends, Bailey, sent this to me for Christmas, and I was really excited to start it and read it. I've been hearing a lot about it. Obviously, it was like the big poster and the big like wow at BookCon last year, and I just was really excited. Vampires, New Orleans, like, someone's gonna clock me for saying New Orleans, but like, it's New Orleans. It's not New Orleans. Sorry. It's just my southern self coming out. It's called New Orleans. You gotta say it fast so no one knows what you're saying. But I just like love that city. I love the setting. I loved that it was in the 1800s. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I don't know how to feel about it. And that's what I do when I have books that I don't know how to feel about. The setting was great. The characters, I liked them for the most part. I wasn't too keen on our main character, Celine, but I really liked Bastion. I thought he was just like a great character overall, and I'm excited to see what happens in the next book with him. But when I'm 300 pages in and I don't really know the end goal of this book, that's gonna be an issue for me. I know that the main goal was to like stop this monster or whatever we're searching for serial killer, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the book. But it wasn't set up like it should have been. Also, no one says the word vampire for like 400 pages. So like, I'm sitting here thinking, did we all just make up that this was a vampire book? Like, are they not vampires? Is this the Loch Ness Monster? Edward Cullen, is that you eating people? Are Stephen Salvatore, are you a ripper? I know you were in New Orleans with Klaus. Like, is this your book? Is this your story? Because I don't know where I'm going with it. But all the same, I will read the sequel because I'm interested in where the story goes. So that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5, because I liked the characters, I liked the setting. It just needed something extra for me to be a 5 out of 5 star read. And I don't know what that could have been. Maybe they should have loosened the corsets a little more. But like, get your hoop skirt on, we're going to a masquerade ball. And those were my January reads for this month. I had so much fun with my reads this month, and it really reminded me of why I do what I do, why I write, and why I love reading and I love storytelling so much. I feel like in 2019 I had such an issue with reading because I was so like, I have to publish Dark Radiance, like I have to do it, which I'm so glad I did, but at the same time I fell slack to all of my babies. I probably haven't read half of these books, and that's embarrassing. Actually, no, I haven't read half of them. I get into this thing where I'm like, I need to buy a book. I just need to buy a book, but I haven't read the books on my shelf, so I have a hoarding problem. I have an addiction to buying books and not reading them. I think we all can say that some of us have that. It's probably a disorder that I need to get checked out by a therapist, but I'm not going to because I'm happy. I'm happy with my piles of books that I can swim in. I do a day, like a cleanse of my books every like 6 months. But I can't part with them because what if I want to read them? And half of these books are signed. So like, I can't get rid of them. Now this is just becoming a therapy session of why I buy books. At least I'm not addicted to meth. Like, there could be so much worse things that I could be addicted to. And that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my January reads. Let me know down below what was your favorite book that you read this January. I'd love to know. Maybe I can add it to my TBR, or maybe I have it on my giant bookshelves of books I have not read. That's my goal for this year. I'm gonna read every single book on this shelf, or at least half of them. At least half of them. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. If I could read almost all these books by the end of this year, that'd be an accomplishment. Like, some of these I've had for years. What's wrong with me? Someone else tell me they do this so I don't feel so alone.